Okay, time for another album review, and this time, I've been planning to do this album review for quite a while now. It's been on my head for at least a couple of months, and now is the day that I will be reviewing one of my favorite melodic death metal albums of all time, and also from one of my favorite bands of all time. Unfortunately, the band is not active anymore because there was an unfortunate event that their drummer died, I think in 2016, or was it even earlier? I think it was 2016, and they just decided to quit, which I appreciate, in memory of honor of their former deceased drummer. So today I will be reviewing Bolt Thrower's IVth Crusade, their 1992 album, which in my opinion is maybe even better than their most popular well-known album For Victory. So really cool. I especially like the CD. It's so awesome looking. Anyway, this was their fourth album. Was it just a coincidence to name it IVth Crusade? I don't think so. I think it has to do with the fact that this was their fourth full album. But who knows? Maybe not. But I would say in this album, this is their kind of milestone, trademark album where they really find their style that they really continued through and since this album through all the way up to Those Once Loyal 2005 album, which was their last album. Even though this is my favorite album, I have to admit that I haven't really listened this album that many times since, in a few past years or something. I'll definitely need to give this album a couple of rounds very soon, just to refresh my mind how awesome this album was. So this was their fourth album, and year before this they made War Master 1991 album, which of course already saw the move into the more melodic death metal stuff that they later have been known for. But I would think that album, while still a very good album for War Master, I would still think that they really progressed on their melodic style of death metal in this album. This is much more, I would say, matured album compared to War Master, and it was just 1 year later, so really impressive how they managed to do such an leap from War Master in this album, just after a year later. And yeah, this has like I'm not going through every track like I used to in my album reviews, but I'm just going to mention my favorite tracks. So of course the opening and the title track, the IVth Crusade, is definitely my all-time favorite ball thrower songs. And yeah, I would definitely say top 5 or even top 3 songs from their whole category. Really powerful track, very catchy melodies. Just the starting, melody from the song is really strong, and just yeah, once you hear it, you just can't forget it. It's so memorable. Yeah, just awesome. Then the next track, Icon. I must mention that the first half of this album is, in my opinion, quite much better than the second latter half. So I would say the first 4 tracks on this album are just phenomenal. Like the second one, Icon, the third track, Embers, the fourth track, Where Next to Conquer, which is I would say my second favorite song on this album after the title track. And from the latter half, I would say Ritual is really good song, like just a little bit slower song. Like this has that doom metal. I would say this is not just pure melodic death metal album. This is death/doom metal album, because this really has some strong doom metal elements. So very slow, very very powerful. Like doom metal usually is. And Spearhead, that might be what I remember the album's most doomish song. That's really heavy, slow song, which I really like. And then I would mention the Celestial Sanctuary. I remember that was pretty catchy song with good melodies. And then I don't know if every this is a reissue from 1996. So this has 2 bonus tracks, Crown of Life and Lament, and both of those bonus tracks are really great. So definitely those 2 bonus tracks are better than some of the other songs on this album. So yeah, just great album. Such a nice melodies all around the album. Really heavy and precise drumming of Andy Whale, the drummer that I really like. His style is so recognizable, very simplistic, but works like charm, works perfectly with ball thrower. Uh, and you know, what else to say? And of course, Carl Wheelet's vocals on this album are as good as they, or even better than they were in War Master. I would say maybe his vocals are, this is his best vocal performance, I would say, uh, on maybe any Ball Thrower album, in my opinion. So yeah, really classic album, and like I said, I think this was their milestone where they really were able to find their trademark sound, which later become their trademark. Just whoever heard a song would immediately recognize it's a Ball Thrower song. So yeah, this album is, in my opinion, a little bit better than For Victory. And just because of the fact that this has much more darker, this is really, actually, yeah, this is really dark album. Unlike, I would say, For Victory was more, energetic, not so dark and sinister album as this is. So I like this, and the more stronger doom metal elements on this album, because after this album they really abandoned their doom metal elements from For Victory. So I kind of missed those elements that were so strong and present still on this album. And yeah, of course, there were already on the previous album, War Master, there was some very strong doom metal elements already there, but I think this is their peak of implementing those doom metal elements to their death metal, melodic death metal. So yeah, it's time for now the rating, the most important stuff. Well, maybe for some. Just want to know what the fuck's the score. Come on, give the score. Yeah, I would give this album a 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. And yeah, this is my favorite Ball Thrower album, and probably always will be. Of course, that can change in the future. It's not written on stone, but it's been like already for so many years my favorite album, so I don't think it will change in the future either. Yeah, 9 out of 10, a classic, a milestone album, and such an influence for many melodic death metal bands that came after this. Like, I can't even guess how many bands have really been so heavily influenced by these masters of melodic death metal. And also, did I mention this is a British band, not American, but yeah, just a side note. So yeah, and yeah, unfortunately, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, really sad that their drummer died of, I think, a sudden heart attack 5 years ago. So they pack their packs and call it quits. But luckily, Ball Thrower's spirit still lives on another band called In Memoriam. I mean Memoriam, not in, just Memoriam, which was founded very shortly after the demise of Ball Thrower, and it consisted of Carl Willets, that is still in the band, the vocalist, and Andy Whale, but he sadly had to leave the band about a year ago or something. He is in their first 3 albums, so they have already made 4 albums, and I'm probably going to review one of their 4 albums in a future. So the Andy Whale is not the original, also Ball Thrower drummer, is not in the band anymore. Again I said in, just Memoriam. Is not in that band anymore, but their new drummer is really, really skilled and I really like it. But I would still say I miss Andy Whale's so simplistic yet very familiar drumming style. I miss that, so it's sad he had to leave for some, I think, health issues or something. So yeah, definitely going to review one of their albums in the future. And just the last look now on this album. I really love this. I think it's also their now you can maybe see it enough. It's, I think, their best album cover of any of their albums. Yeah, I also love the eye on the back. Yeah. So, yeah, as always, see you in the next video, and I just have a feeling it might be NHL. Something about NHL 22, but let's see. Actually, we get to, just a side note, we get to see a full gameplay video later today, so I'm really excited to see, because they didn't actually show much of the, actual gameplay in earlier videos. It was just like the trailer was just so much edited that there was so few actual gameplay be shown on there. So today they will focus on the full gameplay, just showing how the game looks and all the features and stuff like that, I hope. But yeah, enough of that. See you in the next one. Bye.